But what I'm talking about is a liquidity event, much like we saw in March. And this liquidity event could be short, sharp, and nasty, but it could be very nasty because of the setup.
Market tops continue to be called. I think that was the third time we've seen a market top call from Raul on Real Vision ever since the Fed acted back in March 2020. We look at this as a huge, huge event over here. And since then, all assets we've been following have been up. Fed continues to signal that $315 billion in QE purchases from the G10 alone in 2021. The New York Fed alone expected $1.4 trillion. Raul also talking about that they might expand if there is a market crash this week. The Fed's response would have to be to inject more liquidity.
And investing, drinking the coffee while reflecting on the blessing. The markets are not crashing.
While everyone else is calling top, we've been pretty vocal that QE is uber asset inflationary. We've seen assets inflating away. We've been on the right side of that. We will continue to be. If there is a liquidity crisis, rest assured, we're going to see that take fold in the S&P 500. That's what I attacked last time with you all on the channel over here back into February and into March, cleaning up on that trade, as well as things like the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar versus the Japanese yen and Swiss franc. I don't see a bid into the Swiss franc. I don't see a bid into the yen. I don't see the S&P 500 selling off over here, actually rebounding a couple of percent today. Nasdaq also up 2.6% today. Markets are not falling. Dollar's a little bit bid today. We've been watching and tracking this ever since we broke this trend line over here. This, again, this is March when the dollar milkshake, the dollar liquidity crisis played out. The Fed acted over here. That's the top over then. We all went bearish on the dollar over here, right over here at the end of May as we broke down from that trend line over here. And then right over here now, we are turning again bullish on that dollar, looking for a counter trend move. How far and how strong will the dollar get from here? Will we have some type of crisis this week that will cause the dollar to go bid? Are we looking at targeting this resistance over here, somewhere around 92, 92.50 over here? Pretty strong resistance as far as this move will extend, or will be able to break out of that strong resistance and then targeting higher into the 94.75 area? Or do we fall back into this trend over here, into this downward sloping channel, and just see the dollar continue to weaken? Either which way, with that strong dollar today, equity markets are bid. Not only equity markets, we're seeing gold up 2% today. Gold looking ready over here, looking after breaking this resistance over here, looking to resume off that for its next leg up over here. If I zoom out, you could see this trend line over here currently being attacked on gold. That resistance has been taken out and now looking to resume off there, targeting the outer resistance over here. The outer resistance coming in so far after two touches, right around the level of 1920, between 1914 and 1920. Above that, gold should run. Silver already broken out over here. Took out the 2020 high, something that we were looking to happen in 2021. We've been consistent and vocal about that. Next stop, looking for new all-time highs and price discovery above $50. Does silver make it to $100 2021 this year as we've been looking? Now, there are those that think maybe the Wall Street bets camp. It's a small sliver of people looking to attack perhaps the silver market over here, the Wall Street bets. They're saying that maybe, you know what? We know that Citadel and these other funds, they're long the silver market with a bunch of puts. We don't want to trade on the same side they're trading, not something we want to get involved in. However, we have to look at what's happening over here. I could see silver's under pressure over here. I could see a huge amount of money continuing to move into silver. Now, whether it has to do with stimulus, right? Those riding the stimulus, those riding the coming infrastructure, green energy push, solar panels built with silver. Whether we're looking at speculators, you know, from different areas coming into the silver market right now. Either which way, it's difficult to get physical silver right now, as it was, you saw over the weekend, as you saw on Friday. And you're seeing a lot of contracts, paper contracts, going into SLV and across the board. Let's take a look together at this trade.
As the price of gold and silver has risen. So when the gold price rose by around $100 in the second half of 2019, the big shorts saw their positions deteriorate by around $2.2 billion. And
it goes on to say, right, and then later by the end of 2020, their positions had deteriorated by a combined $14 billion.
So we can see silver on the left-hand side there, and we can see just how substantial that overall position is. So we said that there was a combined loss of around $14 billion on the gold and silver short positions, and so far
Okay, so here we go here. We have a $3 billion of total losses right now on the current silver short positions. Every $8 move in silver will lead to another loss of $3 billion. A $50 silver move, right? So that would take silver to $80. Are we going to break above $50 on silver in 2021, the all-time high? Will we come somewhere near $100? That's the price target I'd put on silver before all of this started materializing late last week. It was just a few days. By the way, 74,000 subscribers. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not, welcome back. It was just 3 days ago we put out the video talking about whether it was time to take down the COMEX. Was silver targeting $1,000? Is the silver run here beginning? And we took the look across the board at what is developing on silver. Since then, silver definitely extending its gains up a couple of dollars here, breaking the 27.50 resistance over here, and then as high as $30 earlier this session, taking out the 2020 high. This is something that we've been looking for to occur in 2021. Next stop, $50 silver. Is it going to happen? Are we going to make new all-time highs? Are we going to take out the $50 all-time high this year in 2021 in silver? And does it run to $100? Those are the price targets that I've been looking at. That's the speculation that I've been looking at the silver market way before any of this started developing on Thursday, where we're seeing the increased volume into silver. By the way, the best way to trade this, I personally believe, would be using something like FX Choice, a broker that offers Bitcoin as a base count currency.
A demo for FX Choice, click that link right here, register for the account, and then go ahead and click create a demo account. Okay, here's what you do. This works the same as a demo or a live account. I click MetaTrader 4 ECN. Okay, you want to trade with an ECN broker and a straight through processing broker such as FX Choice, who does never trade against you. Click on MetaTrader 4 Pro. Okay, do not click on MetaTrader 5. It is a later product, but it's inferior. Click MetaTrader 4. Okay, go ahead and you could either choose US dollar or Bitcoin for your base currency. I'm going to show you how it works with Bitcoin. I use leverage of 1 to 200 here, and I'm just going to, for this purposes, open an account with 0.2 Bitcoin. Okay, so 0.2 Bitcoin, this is what 1 Bitcoin would look like. That's 1 million bits. Okay, so 0.2 Bitcoin is 200,000 bits. Okay, go ahead, open an account, and now you have your login information. Go ahead over to MetaTrader 4. Click log into the trade account. And then make sure you just check the server to demo. I'm switching.
Right, through foreign exchange, and then trading silver with a Bitcoin account. This way you're growing your Bitcoin, because right now the name of the game continues to be to follow the most important trade there is, and that is Bitcoin, lightly leveraged. Now, if you're able to go ahead right now as silver looks like it's in play, as silver looks like it has the potential to run here as it makes new yearly highs over here. It's making, by the way, what is it making? It's making new 7 to 8 year highs right over here, headed towards, I believe, in 2021. Just because I say it doesn't mean it's going to happen. Do your own research. Understand your own investment, especially if you are using margin or leverage trading. Make sure you are risk adverse and understand what it is that you are doing. I want to look over here at past bull market phases in silver. Now, over here in red, you're looking at 2020. This says it's about 100 days in. I don't like that. For me, honestly, the bottom began over here back in March as the Fed injected the $4.1 trillion. I would have this marked up a little differently than it is over here. So I don't really know about these past cycles as well. I don't know what they consider to be the bull market phase. For me, the bull market in silver has been clear ever since April over here. And then going back further, it's going back over here. Where did we bottom out? It was somewhere over here in 2015. That would have been the bear market cycle bottom. That sends us towards accumulation stage. This mirrors Bitcoin almost perfectly at what occurred in 2018 in the bear market, 2019, and then 2020, the accumulation stage. Here was over here. Watch my mouse over here. Let me go ahead and draw this in. It's really interesting. You should see this over here. That was the breakdown out of the triangle pattern. The capitulation in Bitcoin. You can see it here in silver. That was right over here. This is in November 2018. That's the cycle low. Yes, we went down lower during the crisis. I don't think we would have broke down over here just like on Bitcoin if it weren't for the dollar liquidity crisis. Let's look at that on Bitcoin really quick because a lot of you are familiar with it and it really should help you. I'm going to come back over here. This is the peak in 2017 December. And then when I was saying the same exact pattern, that wedge, that triangle, descending triangle you could see over there on silver, it broke down and then quickly recovered. That was the bottom. That was the very bottom over here. And then since Bitcoin has gone off to run, once it took out the all-time highs on Bitcoin, that would be $50 on silver. It just, from there, in about 30 days, went up and doubled. Will Bitcoin go, will silver go from $50 to $100 if it's able to take out that all-time high? You know, listen, it's always different. These things, these fractals, they definitely look very similar. And, you know, if you can see it, it just makes things a lot easier. By the way, over here, there's the descending triangle on silver that led to be the bottom over here after it broke down. And then you see price bid up. Watch this trend line over here. I don't think silver would have broke it if it weren't for the dollar liquidity crisis. You're all familiar with what happened over here. That trend line on Bitcoin. I don't think we would have broke this down over here if it weren't for the liquidity crisis. Could we have another liquidity crisis? Does it appear that we're having one this week? No, I don't. It doesn't look like it to me. Listen, if we have one, we're going to be there and we're going to make sure we stay on the right side of the market together. I wanted to come back and look at these silver bull market phases over here. And the one thing that I want you to notice is how they all end. You could see over here in 1971 to 1974, that almost vertical reach. Very similar over here in 1976 to 1980. Generally, these markets, how many days do they last? Let's say they last anywhere from 650 days all the way as far as beyond 1,000 days. How far are we in right now? We're not even 365 days in. Does it look like 2021 all year long? Silver has the potential to run. It does to me. We'll keep watching. All right, so let's keep going. Could the silver squeeze? Can it be done? What are the chances, right?
And during this entire period, without fixing, no one will be able to buy or sell silver in the world. Wow, this sounds incredibly dramatic, and the impacts of this would be absolutely profound. There is little doubt of that. And so what are the chances? Well, the liquidity and the depth of the silver market is, of course, far, far greater than GameStop GME. So if we assume 3 billion ounces of investment grade silver, we've got an $84 billion investable silver, physical silver market cap, which is somewhere around 25 times greater than that of GME. Now, GME also had a short overhang of around 120% of outstanding shares. So the short position is not as great for physical silver, but there are other reasons as to why people would be less willing to sell physical silver, because we are experiencing massive increases in deficits, debt and debasement of our currencies. And this is all coming with the backdrop of increased financial repression. That is interest rate suppression, where interest rate...
And then we get back into it's a monetary metal.
Breaking hedge funds produces systemic risk. Buying Bitcoin produces change.
As a child, you were
So I'm tracking over here Bitcoin on the 15-day. Look at these past cycles. I want you to focus on the all-time high over here, 1150 over here. Watch what happens when price is taken out over here. So we're looking at about a 19x over here, and I want you to focus on when that happens. This is the 2017 December bull market phase top over here. Look how far back down the previous cycle is. Now when it first breaks over here, look when it's up 100%. Bitcoin currently just broke from 20,000 to 40,000 over here as we break from 1,000 to 2,000. Yeah, 3,000. Look how this looks on the chart. By the end of the bull market phase, look at the significant difference over here. That's where we are right now. Bitcoin has just taken out that last all-time high of the last bull market phase over here at 20,000, went on its way to 40,000, and look how this looks as relation as it did last time we looked at the last cycle over here. And look what happens as this peak over here comes all the way down, as it did happen over here when we start seeing the full bull market cycle. Right, instead of looking at what we're looking at right now over here with about a 4x right over there. You can see over there is a 4x. You can see Bitcoin is down over here. At the end of the bull market, it's nothing more than a small little blip. The last bull market high over here of $20,000 is currently been taken out, and you can see all the way over here. This is soon going to become a blip all the way down over here as it reflects over there. What the price of Bitcoin will be when that happens, it's going to be much higher